What's a terrible name for a dog? Story 1. Ooh, this is a bad one. My mom knew a guy that named his black lab the N-word. Only other black labs can call him that. My history teacher said that his uncle named his dog the N-word. I don't think the dog was even black. My teacher said that he grew up not knowing there was anything wrong and would call after the dog just openly in public. When I was 13, I named my black lab Mix OJ. He was a stray and killed 2 kittens that were under our house. My mother had a dog named Duke, which is fine, unless you happen to live in Louisiana in the 90s in a predominantly black neighborhood. It got awkward when Duke got loose during that jerkwad's candidacy, and my mom drove around the neighborhood shouting the dog's name. Some neighbors really thought she was advocating for a Klan leader to be governor. I know a guy whose kids named their lab Digger because he liked to dig holes. Of course, one day, Digger got out and tried to chase down some new friends so they could pet him. These new friends happened to be black and were running away from the big, barking dog that was chasing them, while the guy was also chasing Digger and yelling his name. During World War II, the famous Dam Buster Squadron's commander had a black lab named the N-word. My dad named our black cat the N-word. Mom said, not the N-word. Dad said, okay, not N-word. And that was what he called the cat. Mom and I called him Blackie. Blackie was the word for my grandpa from East Texas that he used for black people as a young adult. Not a lot of fun once he got dementia and started using it again. Oof, my grandmother also let her racism shine through in a big way when she began experiencing dementia. It was not a fun time when she had to be placed in memory care and a good portion of the staff were black. Story 2. Once I heard my neighbor screaming at a Debbie. I thought it was his wife and that it was a domestic dispute. Nope, Debbie was his dog. Dang it, Debbie, you pooped on the couch again. Outside with you. Debbie, stop eating neighbor's cat's poop. Shut the hell up, Debbie. It's 2 a.m. in the morning. You're bothering the neighbors. Debbie, stop licking your butthole while we were at the dinner table. I know someone with a dog called Debbie. I'm personally in favor of dogs with human names. Well, it can be cool. I have a dog named Brody. My young daughter loves to help take care of our pets, and we were out in public talking about Brody needing a bath. I told her since we were out late that we could give him a bath the next day. My exact words were, it won't hurt Brody to wait in his bath. He's black, so it won't really show anything. We are very white people. I didn't even realize what I was saying until I glanced around and saw a man with a very concerned and confused look on his face. My brother's cat's name was Steve. Conversations would go like this. If I'm not home in time for dinner, Steve pushes all the plants onto the floor. Steve peed on the floor in the living room. Steve vomited in bed last night, then tried to eat it. Steve hit the dog in the face. Steve pooped on the neighbor's porch again, and I had to apologize for him and clean it up. I turned away for a second, and Steve was licking syrup off my plate. My dog is named Scott, and I literally had no clue why people always ask me if I have a kid when I talk about him, until someone pointed out that it was an odd name for an animal. Story 3. I do this every day for half my workday, putting in dogs' names. I work at a lab that does the actual testing for the wisdom panel. Terrible is subjective. 2 of my worst, but also the best names are Poopy Bobby and Peanut Butter Buttholes. I've also gotten Walmart, Bucket, Lethal, Marshmallow Chicken Skittles, Blah, Carmax, Greasy Mayonnaise Boy, Sonic John Cena, Grandpa. My list can go on and on and on, and I've got photographic proof of these. Sorry, I almost forgot about Beep Beep Jeep and Dr. Senator. My cat's full name is Bong Walter. Says that stuff on his charts. Someone I know named their cat Chairman Meow, and they would tell it to do the Great Leap Forward, and it would obviously proceed to do nothing. They got a kick out of it. I knew a guy who called his cat I Like Shouting. He went outside to call his cat in as often as he could. A lot of the names I have photos of come straight from Banfield pet hospitals across the U.S. I respect any person that puts their messed up name on their animal's records. My father was a bat poop alcoholic who got 2 bloodhounds after my mother divorced him. He named one Dang It and the other Woman and let them roam freely, a little out in the country. So you'd hear him poop-housed at night, calling the dogs, making a god-awful bloodhound-type sound, then yelling, "Dang it, woman!" They responded every dang time. I hated that it worked. I've had a day, but reading that there's a dog out there named Poopy Bobby has made everything better. Thank you. One of my cat's full names is Sir Hamington the Nutsack, a.k.a. Ham or Hammy Boy. Then there's Black Truffle Peanut Sauce, a.k.a. Truffle. Story 4. Help! I have 4 dogs. Please, someone, help, and me. Help! Someone, please me! And now your life has changed in so many ways. Me! Someone! Help, please! What are you doing? Please, stop it! I said stop it! Help! No! Get back inside! Holy mackerel, that is hilarious. I have a neighbor who lets their dogs out without a leash. Very nice doggies who wouldn't hurt anything, even the neighborhood cats. If I heard him yell out those names, my sides would split. Help me! Help me? Help? Me? Help me! Where are you? Help! My dad heard a neighbor screaming, "Fire! Fire!" in the middle of the night. Turned out to be her cat. This reminds me of that. I worked at a dog daycare, and we had a regular guest named Fire, and he was a hellion. So we were constantly yelling fire in the yard. I cursed that dog's humans every time they brought him in. My friends and I got very high once, and ended up in a conversation about bad dog names. Help is one of the options that came up, along with no, please, and hello. We were howling with laughter. Story 5. Had a neighbor that named their dog Sickum, super nice Dalmatian that wouldn't hurt a fly. But when someone new came to the neighborhood and you heard my 6'5" neighbor start yelling, "Sickum, Sickum, Sickum," while the dog was running at them for some friendly pats on the head, scared the crap out of people. They thought he was yelling "sick him" to attack. It was pretty funny as they would see the wagging tail and licks as he would approach. The whole neighborhood started to run with it, yelling "Sickum" at each other once he got let out, as he would stop at each house, even go inside if doors were open, just to say hi for a minute and get some cuddles. And fortunately, in the 90s, everyone got a good laugh out of it, and actually ended up in the local paper as the friendliest scary dog. The dog was amazing, but lived a short life because of cancer with the breed. Rip Sickum. I'd be afraid for a dog if someone named them that now. Story 6. Dog meat. I only realized how messed up it is when I say it out loud. I got it inspired from Fallout 4. Same here. My dog got out of the house and ran off when I first moved into my new apartment, so my neighbors all got to know me as the woman running up and down the road yelling "dog meat" over and over like a lunatic. I still love his name though. Another funny story was I had to take him to the vet, and due to COVID protocol, you had to wait in your car for the vet to come get the dog and bring them inside. I guess one of the vet techs mixed up the names because I heard her get the dog from the car next to me and say, "Come on, dog meat." The owner looked appalled. I can't imagine taking your dog to the vet and the vet takes your dog away from you and refers to them as dog meat. Oh man. Story 7. I kinda always wanted a big, dumb yellow lab named Boner. It's a horrible name. You can't really call for him in public, which you'd likely have to do since one of the requirements of this scenario is that it's dumb, but I'd probably never stop laughing. Big, dumb yellow lab? I don't believe that particular combination will be difficult for you to locate. Not at all. And no offense to a perfectly fine breed, but they have an outsized tendency to show delightful, lovable idiocy. So it's easy to picture one bounding happily to you through a field after you yell "Boner!" Great idea. I had a cat named Penis, though we mostly called him Peen. Then I had fun with it. Piamus Minimus, then Maximus when he grew up. Jalapeno, Peener Butter, and a few others I can't remember anymore, sadly. You wouldn't want to lose him. "Excuse me, have you seen my penis?" Missing. Penis. $100 reward. Story 8. The guy my best friend was dating had a pair of chihuahuas named Bentley and Gabbana. Bentley was a later addition, after Dolce died. When they broke up, his dogs unfriended me on Facebook. Have you ever been unfriended by a pair of purse dogs? It'll make you think long and hard about your choices in life. That's cold. I expect Bentley coerced Gabbana. Gabbana always was the chill one. Chihuahuas are never chill. Honestly, the fact that I am not maintaining a social media account for a pair of purse dogs makes me feel so much better about my own life choices. Huh? My mom used to be friends with a guy whose dogs were named Dior and Gabbana. Everyone thought he was gay because of those names, because of the into fashion equals gay stereotype. Turned out his girlfriend was the one who actually named them. They were cute dogs. Story 9. The last dog my parents got had a bunch of small brown spots on her coat. My dad was convinced Peanuts was the perfect name. I told him to go outside and loudly call for Peanuts. He quickly realized that name was a bad idea. A friend of a friend's family made that mistake when naming the new puppy that quickly bonded with their young daughter. They realized the mistake when the puppy got out and their daughter ran down the street after it, frantically screaming, "Peanuts!" over and over at the top of her lungs. The dog's name was quickly changed to Peanut. My parents settled on a much safer job, Sophie. My neighbor had already awkwardly seen my dad skinny dipping in their hot tub, so it was just a bad idea all around. Story 10. Okay, not terrible, but the dog was made fun of. There once was a pug named Potato, and his owner, an old Latino woman, had an Oprah-worthy high voice. She called out to Potato one sunny day at the dog park. "Potato?" My mom and I looked confused until he came romping through the field, a dark tan and mighty pug. We understood. Yes, Potato, the fat snorting pug with asthma, loyal to the end, returned to the lady. Her voice yelled, "Potato!" Make my mom and I crack up every time we remember it. But if you look too deep into humor, you find tragedy. That breed of dogs just suffers so many health complications, so humans can have a potato resembling a gargoyle. Rip Potato. Story 11. My dad has a dog named Kitty. It confused the heck out of my 2- and 3-year-olds. Thousands of people know dogs named Kitty. I'm just going to assume you are all related to the same grandma. My cousin is the opposite. Hates cats, but they have a barn cat he's warmed up to. Says it's not a cat. Says it's a small dog that kills mice and meows funny. His kids find him funny. He named it Dog. I think you mean barks funny. As a toddler, my child only knew large breed bullies. We had a Rottweiler and cats. We went trick-or-treating, and he experienced his first small dogs. Little dude was so excited to see so many kitties. Story 12. I used to live across the street from a tweaker who would let out her dog at all hours and then call it back by its name in a gravelly voice. 69, 69. My friend had a morbidly obese neighbor who would go out in her Rascal to walk the dog and just let it run free while she chain smoked and yelled its name, "Lil Bet," constantly in a southern, obese, old smoker woman voice. That was his and his wife's 6 a.m. every morning. Story 13. We were given an older dog named Sheba. She was a Shiba Inu. Sheba translates to brushwood, while Inu translates to dog or dogs. The original owners were using that as a name because they heard it on TV. They did not know what it meant until we got her. They would sing a song which was almost entirely derived from them saying Inu over and over, "Dog, dog, dog, dog." After that, we called her Dog as a joke, but we still loved her. Story 14. Someone told me after you pick a name for your new pet, walk around your neighborhood yelling it out loud for 10 minutes. If you don't feel like an idiot after 5 minutes, it's a good name. That advice was burned into my brain after I agreed to dog sit a sly and mischievous Labrador pup named Victory, and she dug her way out of my backyard. Story 15. I met a family at the dog beach near my house with the sweetest little dachshund. I said, "What's his name?" The mom said, quietly mortified, "Stinky Cheese." The kids named him. So I'm going to go with Stinky Cheese. My aunt had a dog named Socks that everyone called Stinky Socks, so this checks out. You are so wrong. Stinky Cheese is an amazing dog name. Story 16. My brother stuttered when he was young, and my parents got a dog for him. He said, what the doggy name is? And from there we had what? Next dog's name, In the Butt. I said, what? In the butt. Story 17. My friend has a dog named Grandma. It's funny to hear them yell at her to get her out of the garbage and stay off the counter. Mom, Grandma pooped on the rug again. Or, Grandma, get out of the cat box. Kills me every time. Story 18. Adolf Hitler. Heil Hitler. Story 19. Poophead. Imagine all the people secretly hating you, thinking that you have to be abusing your dog with a name like that. You'd have to be a real jerk to call your dog that. Story 20. I couldn't tell you, but I'm sure H.P. Lovecraft could tell you about a great name for a cat. H.P. Lovecraft is a great name for a cat. Story 21. I saw a couple on a hiking trail, and they named their dogs Kevin and Susan. I think those are perfect. Anthony Rizzo has a dog named Kevin. Story 22. John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. Hey, that's my dog's name too. Whenever we go out, the people always shout, "Can I please pet your dog?" Na 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 na. Story 23. I named my dog Saul. Saul, good boy. I'm sure this was the joke. It doesn't matter. We're all having fun here. Saul, good dog. Story 24. Wasn't his official name, but my uncle used to call my grandma's Chihuahua Bailey Speed Bump. Believe it or not, it was actually super endearing. Story 25. My old neighbors apparently thought it would be a good idea to let their 3-year-old name their dog. The dog was named Dump Truck. Story 26. My friend had dogs named Dongbag and Ryan Tannehill. So he had one dog? Story 27. Keith. It's such a human name that doesn't belong on a dog. Story 28. Samsung Smart Refrigerator. Alexa or Siri. Also, suck it, Jin Yang. Story 29. Stay. I put a spot remover on my dog, and now he's gone. Story 30. Princess Diana. Sure, I hope he doesn't get hit by a car. Story 31. Boo Boo Kitty Frick Snoochie Boochies II. The Clit Commander. Story 32. Cujo. Please leave your stories in the comments. I'd love to make a video of them in the future. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.